The 4 things that make up who you are. See, and you are a makeup of these 4 things. Your mindset, your habits, your knowledge, and your people. This defines who you are. These are the 4 things that define how the world perceives you, what you can do in the world, and how the world responds to you. The world cannot respond to you beyond the combination of these 4 things. Of course, if you are now born again, you now add the spiritual dimension to it that makes you half human, half spirit. But you see, even people who are not born again, when they understand these 4 things, they become impossible to ignore. As in people that don't have any spiritual dimension to them, when they are able to cash in on these 4 things and grow it and develop it, they can achieve unimaginable things. Now imagine you who is born again, have the Spirit of God. Now ask these 4 things and say, how do I grow these areas of my life? Do you have what the UN needs to hear? Until you become that kind of person who the UN wants to hear, then the tools of amplification and acceleration can come together and say, now let us get you there fast. So at the core of everything is a personal transformation. Whatever goes wrong in your life will manifest in the areas of your life. Whatever is right in you will happen, and that we see the results. So you see people you admire there. Oh, I love this pastor. I love what he's doing. This businessman, see how his business is growing. It's not the business that is growing. It is the man that is growing. And yesterday we said, when we know that the core of everything is who you become, and we stopped at saying, how do you become? Because this is where we know what to do. Now, how do we do it? How do you become? The exponential growth you are looking for is you. If it happens in you, it will happen around you. So, what's number 1? Your mindset. Your mind is the real reason why everything is happening in your life. As a man thinketh, so he is. You think that the reason things are happening is because of what you are doing. No, sir. What you are doing is powered by the way you are thinking. Your life will not outgrow the programming of your mind. Your life cannot outgrow the way you think. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your philosophies, they are the real ceiling that determines how far and how fast you can go. If nothing changes in your mind, nothing will happen in your life. That's why even God says, be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. So when God wants to change you, the first thing that needs to start changing is the way that you think. Because thoughts are the birthplace of all reality. Everything you see was once an imagination. Even God, before he made the world, he thought about it. So words we say or we believe are the tools of creation. But you see, words are only thoughts that are spoken out. Every word is a spoken thought. You can't speak positive if you don't think positive. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the things you are saying are only a reflection of the things you are thinking. If you can't think it, you can't say it. You see, the problem is that our thinking are not as obvious as we think they are. The way you think is subconscious, is hidden, is programmed. You are not really thinking. You are really responding and reacting to a programming that has sat in your brain without you knowing. Your growing up did something to you that you don't even know it did. The places you grew up, the environment you grew up, and that's why, some things we call generational patterns. They are simply just reprogrammed recreations. This child grew up seeing this, he grows up and he repeats what he saw. So you are really thinking the way you were raised. That's why somebody who grew up in the ghetto will almost naturally make the decisions common to the ghetto, because that's what he saw everybody doing. The person who grew up around wealth will make decisions that the wealthy people make, because that's what he grew up seeing. And so, if you will change your life, you must go back and find out what are these unconscious programming that are really controlling my life that I'm not even aware of. Because until you make the subconscious conscious, it will control your life and you won't even know it. That's a quote by Carl Jung. I think I mentioned it yesterday. There's a subconscious thinking in your mind that you don't even know it's there. You must bring it and say, why am I really thinking the way that I am thinking? Slavery is not a function of chains. It's a state of the mind. That is why God made sure that Moses did not grow up among the Israelites. Because the slavery of the Israelites was not their presence, it was their mind. See, he knew that, look, if Moses grows up with these people, he cannot rescue them. A slave cannot rescue a slave. So he made sure that this guy grew up in the palace. You think say God don't know what they do? God realized this guy must grow up around power to understand how power works. If he's going to lead these people, he must be used to. He grew up talking to kings. So when God sent him, he understood how to do the assignment because that's what he knew. There's nobody God could have sent in that assignment that would have made it happen. It not go work. Unless God reprograms the way you think, some things cannot change in your life. And if you will change your mind or the programming of your mind, and when I say programming is, so my background is software engineering. You build a program and you just go away. The program keeps doing the same thing. The ATM machine, there's nobody there. Just go there. It has been programmed. See, when your mind has been programmed, you will do things without your permission. You won't even know you are doing them. And you just solidify your outcomes. And you'll be thinking, but why is this pattern happening in my life? Organic programming. Don't be village people. And so if you will change that pattern, you must go back and ask, what programmed me to think this way? Then I must go back and reprogram myself to think the way I want to think. Your first programming was as a child, without your permission. But your second programming must be done by you deliberately. And you must be aware. Because, you see, the mindsets that really keep people small, you know scarcity mindset? That thinking that nothing is enough. Everything is, the mindset that makes you stingy, that makes you protect. You just think that if that person is rising, then I must be losing. And you see, you are not aware that you are thinking that way. But your decisions are coming from that thinking. So, when there's a chance to collaborate, you are like, no, it's competition. Yet, it's programming that you're not even aware of that is driving that decision. And you lose opportunities because you don't understand what is driving your decisions. Complainer mindsets. You feel somebody else is the reason why something is not working in your life. So it's government. Everything is government. It's a mindset, though. Nobody is making sense who is depending on a third party. Anybody making sense understands that I am responsible for my outcomes. The day you get to that point and you say, look, my life is my decision, freedom has started coming to your life. Remember I said circle of concern, circle of influence, circle of control. You can't be complaining about things you cannot control. And so, how do you change these mindsets? How do you actually wake up and say, I want to reprogram my mind? To reprogram your mind, you must go back to the primary things that first programmed you. And your programming was done by two things. The things that you grew up seeing and the things that you grew up hearing. These are the two things that made you or that makes you think the way that you think. Until you change the things you see. You see, the things you grew up seeing defined what normal was for you. If you never grew up around people who were taking flights, you know that you grow up and you don't even realize that there's something called flights. It's not in your frame of reference. When you think travel, you only think of travel the way you grew up seeing people travel. So, there are things that exist in life because you have never been exposed to them. You don't even know they exist. How can you even get to us you don't know exist? So there are experiences in your life that are not happening, not because they are not there. You are not even attempting to get there because you don't even know that they are there. 2 Corinthians 3:18 says, we all, with unveiled faces, beholding us in a mirror, what? The glory of the Lord, and we are being transformed into that which we behold. The things in your life are controlled by the things you are seeing. And that's why, you see, there's this, when you start working in a corporate environment, and let's say you grew up on the streets, so you just dress anyhow, wear torn jeans, fly the shirt and just go. And the first day you went to work, everybody is dressed sharp. What happens to you that day? You look odd. So you go back home. You come back the next day the same way. The third day, by the fourth day, what will happen? Nobody will tell you. By yourself, you begin to... What is changing you? The environment. That's what you are seeing. It doesn't take your permission. It just begins to change your outcomes and change your decisions. And that's why the neighborhood you live has a lot to do with the way you think. And you see, as adults, right? As adults, you are already programmed. But you think that, we are cutting our coat according to our cloth. What you don't realize is that you are programming your children's future by the things you are exposing them to right now. And so your children will grow up, and you'll be expecting them to think the way in a particular way. They cannot. The school you send your children to, in one school, they want to teach them mathematics. They say, you have 10 oranges, you give away 3. How many do you have? 7. Another school, they say, you have 10 buildings, you sell 5. How many do you have? 5. When those two children go to the street, one person is seeing oranges, one is seeing buildings. I don't have time. I have a long way to go. So let me leave the illustration so that, but you get the point. If you don't change what you see, you will keep behaving in a particular pattern. And the next thing is the things that you hear. Faith cometh by, can I also tell you, fear also cometh by hearing. Smallness cometh by hearing. If everything you are hearing is this economy is bad, you go bad. Because the things you keep on hearing actually go into your mind, and it begins to create your reality. And you begin to talk the way you hear. And that's why sometimes you need to intentionally take yourself out of your comfort zone and go to places where you hear things that make you angry. Things that you come back and like, what have I been hearing all this while? One time, I live in a city where if you're not careful, you'll be thinking you are a King Kong when you're actually nobody. Because, I say we talk about comparative speed. When you are driving BMW at 100 kilometers per hour, and you are overtaking Keke Napep driving at 30, you think you are fast. Until you now go to where everybody's going at 300, like, oh, my 100 was slow. One day I was having dinner with some of my friends at the Co-Atlantic. And we're just talking. And one of them was like, oh, yeah, that, my company got this contract to build 80,000 tablets for this government in the north. I'm like, excuse me, 80,000 tablets. I multiplied the price of one tablet by 80,000. And my brain was like, am I sure that I am doing the math correctly? I sat down there and I was like, this is making no reach my turn. That thing Pastor said yesterday. I was just like, and I love that conversation. My wife and myself, we're just looking at ourselves like this. But you see, when we left that conversation and we go back to you, we just knew that we have not started. What planted that discontent in us? If you are always the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You need to put yourself in places where you hear things that make you realize that, oh, more, there is more. So, deliberately, and these things are subconsciously programming your thinking. The decisions you start making in my estate where I live, where we do our business, they wanted to sell a property. And every agent that they tell about the property automatically says, no, it's these guys that will buy it. They kept coming to our business, come to our school, buy this property, buy this property. And when we hear the price of the property, we're like, you guys must be kidding. Because it's the kind of money we have never seen at once. You know that kind of thing. When you look at your bank statements over 1 year, you see figures and you're like, did this money pass my hand? But it does not gather at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? But one day I was talking to someone and the person said, David, what do all these agents see in you that make them think you can buy it, but you don't see in yourself? I'm like, nobody has ever told me this. Between that conversation, less than 2 months, I bought that property. In under 2 months. What changed? Somebody said something that suddenly made me start thinking, truly, why do they think I can buy it? But only me thinks I cannot buy it. Your thinking is what is controlling your life, not your reality. And so, what do you need to do? Practical action points. These are 3 things. For every point I'm making, I'm going to give you 3 action points. Number 1, when you live here, go and do what they call, write a personal manifesto. It's not political one. Just in simple terms, Describe yourself 10 years from now. Who do I want to be in 10 years? Write it. Paste it somewhere. So every day you wake up, you are looking at, this is me, I do this, I sing around the world, I speak on these stages, I run this. I mean, just write down who you want to become. That's a personal manifesto. It looks small. The year I did this, everything I wrote, I have become it. Now I am doing new ones. So write a personal manifesto. Number 2, create a vision board. A vision board is simply that thing you wrote in your manifesto, right? Look for pictures that represent it and paste them. If possible, go online. Just go on Canva. Look for a software. Just Google images. Look, what do you see yourself speaking on a stage with a global audience? Look for a picture of a guy speaking on a stage. If possible, just paste it, print it. My own vision board is on my phone. I carry it everywhere. And you know the funny thing? I've had to redo my vision board every 5 years. Because each time I do a vision board, in less than 5 years, I become everything in that board. I have to set new goals. I did a new vision board early January this year. Even things I did not plan for. You see, the universe has a way of conspiring to begin to arrange things for you. Things I didn't even take any step towards. Just because I pictured it, I woke up one day, I'm like, wait, this thing I put in this picture is already happening. And I subconsciously, because the things I kept seeing are, see, God showed Jacob that you can program biological outcome by sight. Even biology is controlled by what you see. I mean, it's not in your Bible. God told him, when the animals come to mate, what they see, they reproduce. So, create a vision board. And then thirdly, intentionally curate your environment. This is you planting seeds of imagination in your mind. Sometimes deliberately just travel. Go to places. When you want to do something, there are 5-star hotels where you live. Even if you don't have the money to lodge there, shall go to the lobby, buy a bottle of water, sit down there, just soak it in. Just look at the place. Just once in a while, go and eat in a place that you know that I'm giving my children an experience of what is possible. Begin curate it. Don't just let your environment control you. Control the environment. Drive around the neighborhood, not with envy. Just look at the place and just be looking, I'm going to live in somewhere like this someday. Just begin to intentionally put images in your mind. That is how you change your thinking. And remember, until your thinking changes, your life will not change. So you see this thing is war. You're not ashamed and say, people will come and ask me, what am I doing? Oh God, they are on their own. This life is personal. You don't concern them. I am changing my destiny. How I'm doing is not your business. So if I'm talking to myself and I'm doing self-talk and I am reminding myself of some realities, Oga, call me mad. You can't blame my dancing when you don't listen to my music. We're not hearing the same thing. I am going somewhere different. So allow me to be mad. Because I understand where I'm going. Number 2, after you've dealt with mindset, is what? Habits. Habits deals with your systems and your routines. The things you do every day. Because until your mindset begins to reflect in your habits, the change does not become visible. Sometimes we deal with number 1. We say we're going 4 places. Mindset, habits, knowledge, and people. Number 1 is the starting point. You can knock off number 1 and say the change is not yet visible. Yes. Because the truth is this. Affirmations alone won't change you. You need to combine it with, it is your habit, it is the things you do every day that controls your outcomes. You are what you repeat. Because God does not run this world by miracles. He runs the world by systems. The earth has been programmed into a system. As long as the earth remains, seed time, harvest, hot, cold, night and day, they will not change. If growth, the universe controlled by system, plants grow by systems, your body grows by system, what makes you think that your own life transformation will happen just by miracle? Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't misunderstand me. Am I saying miracles don't happen? Absolutely not. But see, even when God does miracles, when you look at the miracle closely, sometimes the miracles are probably just God accelerating the process of systems. The woman who went to Elisha and said, my sons are to be sold as slaves. Man of God, help me. And the man of God said, what do you have? Oil. And borrow jars, pour oil, and the oil multiply. God did a miracle. What was the miracle? Multiplication of oil. Can I ask you a question? The original oil, the one in the bottle, where did it come from? From the tree. If it's olive oil comes from where? Olive tree. How many olive seeds do you plant? How many do you harvest? It is one olive seed that gives rise to all the oil that comes from the tree. What was that? Multiplication by systems. You don't want to engage systems. You want to be by miracle. And you see, God did that once and then came back and said, if you want more oil, go to the farm. Why am I saying this? The things in your life run by systems. We spend so much energy praying and saying, God, change my life. Do something new. Do something new. And God is saying, I have showed you systems. I have showed you principles. I have showed you how things work. Go and check it. People who are generating repeatable results are operating by systems. Waiting for luck is like you. God should bring trampoline, a bit trampoline to shoot you to your goals or to your destiny or to your miracle. But somebody else is saying, I'm going to build a ladder that I'm going to get there. And this is it. You know what systems do? They make your transformation or your growth what? Possible, predictable, and repeatable. Miracles are discretionary according by God. So God can do it once and can choose that I won't do it again. But when you build systems to drive your results, it's automatic. You can do it again and again and again. They say we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. There are systems you put in place that allows God to channel the things he wants to send to you. Okay, let me explain this. You do business or you work. Those are systems that allows God to channel blessing into your life. Yesterday, Dr. Sepuya said, employment are the ways that wealth is transferred within a society. Can I ask you a question? If today you say, God, I need 30 million naira, urgently, urgent 30 million, what systems do you have in place to take delivery of it if God wants to give it to you? As in, how can God, what process, what system in your life allows God to give you 30 million right now? Your business is barbing salon. So you barb hair to make money. How much do you charge for barbing one hair? 5,000. Before God will give you 30 million, how many head will you barb? So, it is not because God cannot give you the money you are looking for, but you don't even have systems to receive it. That's what we talked about yesterday. Make this valley full of ditches. It is the ditch you dig that determines the amount of water you will have. Systems for business, systems for your work, but systems that power your life. Your life is powered by the habits. You can't be expecting to be a Dangote and 8:30 in the morning, you are with towel and chewing stick. This is the day that the Lord has made. People that at that level, that's not the systems. That's not how they run. You need to build systems and habits that power success. And like I said, for everything, I'm going to give you 3. There are 3 things you need to build systems around because your life is going to be powered by these things. Number 1, you need to build systems for lifelong learning. What do I mean by that? Your knowledge increase. Your learning should not be by spots of motivation. Well, I feel like reading today. No. The next one I'm going to talk about is knowledge, right? But you need to build habits that power learning. Let no day end when you don't become smarter than you woke up. If you build a system for it, meaning every day I wake up, I must go to bed smarter, wiser than I woke up. Don't wait for wisdom to meet you. How do I build this system? Am I going to listen to one TED Talk every day? Am I going to read 3 pages a day? There must be something that makes you wiser, smarter, and more knowledgeable. That's how those things compound. Compound effect, in 2 years, you will be amazed where you will be. That is the exponential growth, guys. It's not the one that randomly, God just took me forward. Linear growth, one step, exponential. When you build it and 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 16, 32, 64, you get to a point, you will not even understand what is happening in your life. I didn't bring that curve, but it's what I call the personal growth curve. When you start doing these things, in the first line, maybe the first few months, it will look like nothing is happening in your life. But you see, this is how the curve of growth happens. Flat, then, pew. This season is called invisible growth. You are building systems. You are changing your mindset. Nothing is showing that anything is happening. But things are happening. The roots are growing deep. The day the thing comes out of the ground, they'll say overnight success. You and I know overnight success sometimes is 10 years. Because people only say what they see. All the years behind, they won't see it. So build systems for learning. Build systems for focused productivity. Your productivity has to be systemized. The reason why many of us have not even reached any level is because we are not solving problems. In this life, you're only as valuable as the problems that you solve. If you don't have a system for productivity, meaning you are a writer, you are a creator, but you only work when you feel like. One of the biggest problems of our generation is distraction. There's a book called Deep Work. Focus. How do you sit down and get things done? You need to build systems. Block out a time in the day. Say, for these 2 hours every day, I am not receiving calls, I am not talking, I'm not playing, I am producing something. Whatever you do, whether you are a writer, you are a musical person, you are a pastor, but this is my blocked productivity period. You will be shocked how much value you can put in the world in a space of 3 months. You won't believe what's going to happen because you are producing something valuable. Come on. The world will look for you. And it is not because it is simply because you've understood how things are done. And then third, your physical well-being. Because all of these things will crash the day your health crashes. So your health, your physical body, your fitness should not be, well, when my leg is paining me, then I go and do exercise. Build system. I mean, what I did here is I just picked 3 out of the principles that power success. I've been writing a book on this thing. By God's will, maybe next month the book is going to be out. But you're going to have more. But these 3, if you can take these 3, lifelong learning, focused productivity, well-being, and systemize them, meaning every day you touch these 3. Oh no. Your results, the devil that will stop you, they never burn them. I am telling you things that work. Now let me run, because looking at my time, I have 2 more things to touch. The next is knowledge. So we've dealt with mindset, dealt with habits, knowledge, your wisdom, skills, and abilities. I told you earlier, in this life, you're only as valuable as the problems that you solve. And you can't solve new problems unless you develop new competencies. The world is not static. The world is becoming more and more complicated. You can't be running your life today on the knowledge you had 10 years ago. The last time you learned something new was 5 years ago. And you think that you will still be relevant today. The world does not work that way. You cannot do what you don't know how to do. There are opportunities that cannot come your way if there are some competencies and knowledges that you don't have. Because see, God can perform miracles to put you in places. But it is what you do in those rooms that determine how long you will stay there. If all that Joseph knew how to do was interpret dreams, he would get to Pharaoh's palace, interpret the dream. The best he would have gotten that day would have been presidential pardon. Oh, wow, this guy is so nice. So see, I interpreted dream. What is he even doing in prison himself? Please, release this guy. I give him pardon. But you see, he went there and there was more beyond just that. I told you yesterday, that Joseph speech, complete masterclass. Go and study it. There's a lot in that speech. He did a lot of things there. See, even when your mindset is right, your habits are right, it is the knowledge you have that will bring you into places of influence and decision-making. So, what are the things that you know? See, there's a level of competence that can't get you beyond a particular level. You want to serve kings? You want to work with kings? There is a way kings need to be served. It's not that you are available. There's something that you must know. And when we talk about knowledge and skills, see, knowledge and skills, what makes you valuable, what makes what you know valuable, is actually its scarcity. Scarcity is the proof of value. Scarcity is what drives value. Why is diamond expensive? Because it's scarce. Why is gold expensive? Because it's scarce. Why is sand not expensive? If all you know is what everybody knows, you are not valuable. I mean, your knowledge, everybody on the scene knows what you know. Sorry, oh. So you must have a system and a way where, look, I am going to constantly increase my knowledge. And so when it comes to this competence thing, There are 3 dimensions of it: your skill, your strategy, solutions. Skill is what you know. You must be increasing and knowing things that people don't know. You must be able to do things people cannot do. This is your technical and domain expertise. But beyond your skill, you need to know, where do I apply this skill? Because 2 people can have the same amount of skill, but they are doing it differently. Do you know that the same knowledge it takes to teach mathematics is not different from the knowledge it takes to build the mathematics curriculum and write mathematics textbook? But you see, the math teacher and the person that has the textbook, their reward is not the same. Knowing where to apply your skill is also important. And then knowing how to take those skills to solve real-world problems. And so, 3 things that you need to know how to do in this dimension. 3 things. Number 1, I call it skill stacking. Let me explain this. You need to be able to find rare complementary skills that makes you stand on a brand new queue where nobody is standing. I told you earlier, it is rarity and scarcity that proves value. Meaning, if you can do something and people cannot do it, that's what makes them look for you when they are not looking for the others. In today's world, expertise has gone beyond your ability to do one thing best. It's now defined by your ability to combine 2 skills from 2 different places in a way nobody has combined. That's what really stands you out fast. If you want to be the best doctor in the world today, before you get to the top of that ladder, you go take. Because all the textbooks you are reading, people that wrote the textbooks are still alive and practicing. Before you get there, you go take. But you see, if you take your medical skills and you take expertise in music, and you now combine medicine and music in a way nobody has combined, and you can design new ways of creating therapy using music, suddenly the world is like, who is this guy? What stands you out? Skill stacking. Combining 2 things that people cannot combine. And see, when you do that, it opens doors you cannot imagine. I work for an organization, and even as a new entry in that organization, the opportunities that began to come my way because of complementary skills. So this organization was doing things around Francophone Africa. And so they were sending people across different countries, but they didn't speak French. Me, I speak French. So suddenly, when they are writing lists of those to send, after they've chosen senior guys to go, they will add David to the list. For what? David speaks French. So when you guys get there, David is interpreter. So where only top-level guys are playing, the new entry is playing with them. People at my level are wondering, why is David the one going? Why are we not going? Oga, do you know what I know? You speak French. Abi, it's only bonjour that you know. Within a short time, because I have played with these guys, they began sending me alone. Because suddenly, we can't send 3 people. We can only send 1. Who should we send? This guy can do what they do and speaks the French they don't speak. Suddenly, I'm outside. I'm alone. That's how you rise fast. Skill stack. Find things. We're talking about Africa. Africa. If you will play on this continent, you must go and get rare complementary skills. There are jobs and positions on this continent you cannot get if you're not bilingual. You know that? They need somebody who speaks French, speaks English, but you are good at what you do. But the complementary skills, they. Number 2, acquire skills not for where you are, but for where you desire to be. The knowledge you have has brought you here. But where you want to get to, you don't have the knowledge to get there. There's something called the Peters Principle. Go and Google it. It says that everybody rises to their level of incompetence. It's a leadership principle. There's a book about it. Go and check it out. Meaning, in life, once you acquire new competencies, opportunities come your way that give you, that are built on that skill, but it takes you to a level where now you are newly incompetent. So everybody is always standing at a new level of incompetence. If you don't continue to develop new skills for the next level, you get to a point and your incompetence becomes your plateau. And if your life is powered by this, I grow, then I plateau, until after 10 years, then I grow again, exponential growth does not happen that way. The exponential growth is you understanding I am constantly ahead of opportunity. I am learning for the next level, for the next level. So now you are here. Prof said everybody should go and learn how to design, manage, execute, deliver projects. I'm like, now Pastor is saying we're going to set up project execution centers. He said they should give him limbs of people. Do you think they'll find people that don't know what to do? Opportunity has come. But now who can qualify? Have you prepared for it before it came? Your knowledge, your wisdom, your skills. There are rooms you want God to take you to, but the wisdom required in those rooms, you don't have it yet. You will need to build the wisdom and develop it before you get. And how do you get wisdom? Really, that's where number 3 comes in. Normalize buying wisdom. The Bible says, buy the truth and sell it not. Buy wisdom, insight, and understanding. Those things are bought. Go and check all the magazines and newspapers and publications in the world where the top 1% of players make decisions from. They are not free. Fortune magazine, The Economist, Bloomberg, Forbes, they require subscription. Why? They want to block the knowledge of the top from the masses. All the places they are doing gossip, fashion, news, they are free. When are they read that one? We gatekeep information that takes people to the next level. If you don't get to a point where you are comfortable paying for knowledge, there's a level you will not cross. It's only free knowledge you are buying, only free knowledge you are consuming. That's why you are where you are. So if you will get to the next level, you must begin to acquire knowledge for the next level. And like I told you last time, the knowledge for your next level is usually not within the reach of that level. So you will need to stretch into the level where the knowledge you need to get you there. So you stretch, get the knowledge, and it pulls you there. Stretch, get, and it pulls you there. That's how you unlock this level. And then the last of them, as I round off, people. And by people, I mean your networks and your relationships. Your life will not significantly go above the level and the quality of the people around whom you play and the people who know you. See, your knowledge can be fantastic. See, we're building. Number 1, we said change your mindset. Your mindset drives your habits. Now you build your knowledge, but it is who you know that will amplify what you know. There are offices you don't access by proposals. You only get invited. Joseph did not write proposal to Pharaoh. He was invited. How did he get into that room? Somebody knew him. Somebody knew him. So there are things you think, oh, but this is important. See, why did Jesus grow in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with both God and men? That and men part is not accidental. There are places that if some people don't like you, you cannot access. Every important door in this life has a gatekeeper. Sometimes the gatekeepers are not as big as you think, but those guys can stop you from entering. Who stopped Peter at the gate when they were entering the house of Cephas, when they arrested Jesus? A servant girl. John entered. They don't greet Peter enter. John has to go and say, please, I know this guy, let him enter. Gatekeepers. Your network, the people, your relationships. You can't just be praying and saying, God, take me. But the person, there are rooms in the world where they have problems that you can solve right now. But because they don't know you in those rooms, you keep praying, and just the connector between your prayer and the reality is somebody. But you don't know that person, and that person does not know you. So, one of the fourth element of this becoming, I can tell you 4 things. You become, your people, the networks, your relationships, in the systems of the world, people are extremely important. And 3 things, like the pattern is, 3 things that will help you strategically expand your network. Number 1, show up in strategic places. Oh, the nations will hear my voice. Ogasa, where have you ever showed up where the nations are gathered? How will the nations hear your voice? By how? By what now? Nations are gathering in your house. Father, Lord, nations will hear my voice. Oga, get up. They will not come and meet you in your parlor. Carry yourself and go to the places where the nations are gathered. Show up in strategic places. Go for conferences. I mean, sometimes have a budget for events. Sit and say, this year, the kind of people I need to be dealing with, what kind of events do they go for? And let me warn you, the important events where those people gather are never free. So when I said earlier, get comfortable buying access, you will need to pay. There are places you go to. It is not because of what they want to tell you there. It's because of who you will meet there. And you see, once you are in the room, you are one of them. Because everybody paid the same money to come in here. They don't know you yet. You are the one who thinks that you are just one small person. As long as you're in that room, they are like, okay, they are curious. Who are you? So, normalize showing up in strategic places. Find events where you can go to. And see, this showing up in strategic places, when you get to places, that's what number 2 is. Learn to talk to strangers. Thank you, man. Leave your phone alone. And stop sitting with your friends. You left the same house. You went for the conference, international conference, and 4 of you from Nigeria are sitting together. Truly, they will find you. And you see, one other thing. There's something that we learned from secondary school that we didn't forget, that carried through life. Stop sitting at the back. Sit in front. In secondary school, big boys sit at the back. But in life, big boys sit in front. Normalize sitting in front. Get there, dress well, package well, sit in front. Make sure that you are seen. When the pictures of this event come out, whose faces will show? The people in front. When they say we have question, raise your hand, ask question. Sometimes the questions people ask is not because you don't understand, because they want to be seen. You came here to expand your visibility. Don't ask stupid questions. In fact, sometimes, right? Find a question that makes you sound intelligent. You understood what the man said, though, but say, that thing you said, right? I want to clarify. And when you carry the mic, introduce yourself and ask the question, people are like, who is that guy? They've noticed you. Some people walk up to you after the event. That's how you get seen. Normalize talking to strangers. Talk to people you don't know. Your next breakthrough in life is in the hands of somebody you don't yet know today. If you never talk to strangers, you may never unlock it. So get used to talking to people. You sit on a flight with somebody. You don't know this person. True life stories, things that happened. Somebody boarded a flight to go to a city. The person he was going to look for was beside him on the flight. True life story. They finished the transaction on the flight. The guy got to the airport, landed and booked the next flight to go back. There's no need going again. Imagine they didn't talk. I can't tell you opportunities that have unlocked for me just because I talk to people. And you see, when you talk to people, one last hack for this. Understand how you talk to strangers. In every conversation, everybody is tuned to the same radio station. WIIFM. What's in it for me? So when they are talking to you, don't just start telling them what they can do for you. Show them how intelligent you are. Let them feel like I need this person. Because you see, nobody will give you a stage to say in public something he has not heard you say in private. They need to have engaged your intelligence and like, nah, this guy is good. This guy can solve this problem. Then they bring you to where the opportunity is. And you see, you need to have the wisdom to know when it's not about money. They don't even know you. I say, this problem you have, how much is a consultation fee? Front load first. Be willing to serve. Be willing to give out information. Let me give you the hack, one of the hacks that I learned early in life. Competence plus humility. I mean, this guy is good. You know what you are doing, and you are not proud. Creates addictive demand. Every big opportunity in your life comes from somebody who knew you are good and feels that, this guy we can work with this person. He's not proud. He's not arrogant. I think I want to work with this person. They will take you into places you cannot imagine. And then lastly, be willing to serve. You are a lawyer. You are an engineer. Join your professional body. You are not an NBA. You are not in a Nigerian society. Those are the places. When you get there, when you join those places, volunteer on committees. It's on committees that they see you. You've registered for an association for the last 10 years, but nobody knows you. When they are saying, we need people to plan the conference, you don't show up. We need people in those places. Show up. Be willing to serve. Service unlocks places you can't imagine. You see, what was Joseph doing for Pharaoh? He was serving Pharaoh. Kings have dreams, and many kings are looking for Josephs to interpret their dreams. But the Josephs must be willing to serve. Many Josephs are called to be dream interpreters, but no, they want to be the Pharaoh that we dream. You need to get comfortable serving people, because that is one of the access that gives you, the things that give you access to places that matter. I'm going to stop here. And tomorrow, by God's grace, we'll pick it up from there. Thank you.